Scientists watching chimpanzees in the wild, and they observed them eating fruits like figs or plums. In fact, up to 10% of their body weight in ripe fruit every day. And that ripe fruit is actually fermented. The scientists estimate they're actually ingesting 14 grams of ethanol each day. That's the equivalent of about 2 alcoholic drinks. And Aleksey Maro is the lead researcher at UC Berkeley, and he joins us live. Aleksey, thanks for joining us on this. What does this mean? Are chimps actually getting tipsy on purpose?
Yeah, so chimpanzees, it's kind of hard to differentiate this from their diet, right? They're consuming this as dietary alcohol within their fruits. So it's sort of the equivalent of having those two drinks over the course of breakfast, lunch, and dinner spread throughout the day. We're used to thinking of alcohol in terms of highly concentrated liquids that we can drink really quickly, but it's a much different story when it's spread out during the day. It's more comparable to something like eating really a lot of fermented food. Things like miso, kimchi, sauerkraut, even fresh bread have some amounts of ethanol. And if we were eating 10% of our body size in fermented fruit per day, we would get similar amounts of alcohol.
I see. So the equivalent of 2 drinks, but spaced all throughout the day. No one is getting blackout drunk here, it sounds like. Any evidence that some chimps have more of a problem with this than other chimps, or are seeking this out more than other ones, or is it pretty evenly spread?
Well, this is the interesting implication of this for humans, that chimpanzees are really limited in the amount of alcohol exposure by how fast they can eat and how much of the fruit they can fit into their stomachs. So it's kind of a speed limit on alcohol abuse in the wild. But that said, that estimate that we made is just an average. And so sometimes when fruits are more available, chimpanzees can eat higher amounts of fruit. Maybe if they're more fermented, they might get higher concentrations. Then we don't know if there's an effect on their behavior, but it's tantalizing to think of it as a possibility.
And there's something called the drunken monkey hypothesis. So does this mean that humans got their taste for alcohol from ape ancestors?
Yeah, so the drunken monkey hypothesis is basically saying that the origin of human attraction to alcohol comes from the frugivorous diet, the predominantly fruit diet of our remote ancestors millions of years ago. And it's an interesting question. How did the act of the intentional production of alcohol begin amongst humans, and what led to that? And it's still an open question of how, why, where, and when that began, and if our predisposition to alcohol from our diet, though, that part of the puzzle is solved.
All right, Aleksey Maro, appreciate you joining us on this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.